because she was working very closely with Jay-Z. And she came out and she said Jay-Z never paid her. And I get the sense of this too. She kind of feels scorned. Jaguar feels scorned by Jay-Z. And instead of being scorned and turning away, she scorned and she faced it. And she was like, you know what? You scorned me, but I'm gonna use this as fuel. So from Beyonce and Jay-Z's end, I see a lot of trouble in paradise. This is putting a lot of strain. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Life Time. My name is Hali, so grateful to have you all. Let's get into this reading. I'm so excited to be doing this. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please like this video if you like it. And yeah, I would love to have to say. Some people say switch on to the notifications. I don't believe in that. That is your free will, and I believe in everybody having like this space away from their phone. But yeah, I would love it if you just like the video. That way, I stay on your feed for future videos. I just hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm so happy, really, really happy. Thank you, everybody. To some people, 5,000 is not a lot, but to me, it is. It's 4,999 more than I could ever ask for. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's get into this reading. I'm doing it on Jaguar Wright versus Beyonce Knowles and Jay-Z. Recently, I saw some stuff on TikToks, on Instagram. I'm not really into TikTok. I prefer Instagram. I don't know why. I'm just an Instagram kind of girl because I like pictures, I don't really like videos. I like YouTuber videos when I'm sat down, but I like pictures. So I end up, a lot of the time on Instagram. I have a TikTok and not really. It's my TikTok. You can always follow my TikTok too. No Light Tarot, same name. But I've been seeing this trend of She Knows by that J. Cole song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm not going to say how I discovered it, but I discovered it 8 years ago, 9 years ago, at a Forever 21 in New York City, a long time ago. And I Shazammed it, and I was like, I have to know this song. And I played it. I play a lot. Anyways, I love that song. And I never really put it into perspective about what it really meant. I just like the beat. I like J. Cole. If you don't want to hear this, if you're not into commentary as well as tarot, please find another reader. I'm not the reader for you. So I've seen this trend on TikTok, Instagram, talking about Beyonce. She knows, she knows, she knows. And so I was like, looking at the comment section. I was like, what's going on with this? She knows, she knows, she knows. Apparently, people are saying that Beyonce knows, which obviously, I believe Beyonce does know and has known and has engaged in certain activities herself, because I do know people that have worked for her, have worked with her and her husband. So I am privy to some information that people have told me. That being said, I find it very interesting that all of a sudden now there's like this turn of tables, and how they handed Piers Morgan a letter demanding to take what Jaguar Wright said off of his interview. Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan, who I used to really like. I don't know if I like him so much anymore. I used to watch Piers Morgan every day for a long time, for 20 years, for a really long time. I prefer British journalism to American journalism. I feel like it's more open-minded, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, so he sent their lawyers sent Piers Morgan a letter of demand, basically take it down or we're going to sue. I suppose the cease and desist is just a more serious cease and desist, which is just the backstory of this situation. Now, I just want to quickly tell you guys about Jaguar Wright. I'm just doing a background story. Jaguar Wright is an influencer. She was a singer on the Roots. Actually, I remember I was a kid when I watched the tour. They did like a documentary type with MTV. To be a huge Roots fan, huge. Huge. Let me tell you, I got the CD and everything. and she also toured briefly with Jay-Z. So it's just all very interesting. It's all coming together. And I remember when Jaguar Wright came out, 4 or 5 years ago, she started talking about Jay-Z and Diddy and all this kind of stuff. And I always believed almost everything she said. Not everything, because I do think she is kind of dramatic. People in the arts tend to be over dramatic. I can be like that too, so I can relate. When I see somebody being like theatrical, I've had to calm down. Um, but sometimes the messenger isn't the most pristine, isn't the most clear minded, but tells the truth. And a lot of what I'd seen in the music industry, she was talking about, and I was like, who's this talking about what I've seen in the music industry? And I discovered it was Jaguar Wright. And you can say whatever you want about her. A lot of what she said about Diddy has come true. And I don't think she's a prophet. I think when you've worked with people, just like I have, I was in the music industry, I heard things about people like I did Beyonce, like I did Jay-Z. When you hear so much, and she was around them, when you have colleagues, co-workers, and you know their deepest, darkest secrets, but they act like you're not there. But you're watching, and you can see, and there's rumors, and you see things, and you're like, I probably shouldn't have seen that, but you see it anyways. It never leaves you. And because it's never left her, I think she's got a lot of trauma she has to deal with. I think that's why she's very dramatic. I think that's why some of the antics she does is a bit over the top. But she is still human, and I think people need to give others grace. It's not for the faint-hearted to come out and tell the truth about the most powerful couple I believe to be the truth about the most powerful couple in Hollywood. I used to tell people stories about what I heard, even believing. I used to be a huge Beyonce and Jay-Z fan when I dated this guy who told me that he worked with Jay-Z and he stole his music. And I really had to let go of thinking Beyonce and Jay-Z were the best thing ever to accept. And he's not famous. There's nobody famous that anybody would know. He left the music industry shortly after. But I had to let go of this idea that they are gods, to accept that they are capable of doing some really nasty things. And I believed them. In the beginning, I was so shocked. He was telling me the story, showing me evidence, and I was like, oh my gosh. But so I've always believed Jaguar Wright because I've experienced and seen some of what she's talking about. And I'm just glad that there's somebody that's willing to be the clown, in order to get the truth out there. Okay, so I'm going to start the reading now. I'm going to do a timestamp for that. And yeah, so let's get into it. I'm using the Crystal Magic Tarot. Love this tarot deck. I always talk about it. And when I was shuffling the cards, I got the energy, Six of Cups, Queen of Wands, King of Swords. So this is more Jaguar versus Jay-Z. And it goes back a long time ago. And I have heard stories. Now, I do integrate, because I've been in the music industry, because I've been around these people, I do integrate personal stories. If you are not interested, please find another reader. I'm not going to read one more comment telling me that I talk too much. I'm just not going to do it. Otherwise, I'm switching off comments. That's it. I've had enough. But I do remember I met this kind of woman, not kind of woman, but this woman who's very into spirituality. She's into like spirit cooking, they said. She used to come to my old job. She was a regular. Her name was Marina Abramovich. Now, some of you might know her. It was the time that she was working very closely with Jay-Z. And she came out and she said Jay-Z never paid her. And I get the sense of this too. She kind of feels scorned. Jaguar feels scorned by Jay-Z. And instead of being scorned and turning away, she scorned and she faced it. And she was like, you know what? You scorned me, but I'm going to use this as fuel. So from Beyonce and Jay-Z's end, I see a lot of trouble in paradise. This is putting a lot of strain on their relationship because he promised her that, this is what I picked up intuitively. He promised her that she would have a cushy life, which is, I've seen that about Virgos. And I will say this, a lot of Virgos I see, particularly females, they don't have to be in love with the person that they're with, earth signs in general. They don't have to have like fiery, for example, Leos, Aries, Sagittarius, they have to feel passion for the person that they're with. Virgos don't. Virgos can just like get by in a relationship until it gets to the point where they're seen as the fool or something material is being taken away from them. If you humiliate them or you take away something that is like a lifestyle, that's when things become difficult. And that's why things are very difficult right now. I've made this prediction for the past 2 years that I strongly see Jay-Z getting close to a woman. I see her being Caucasian, blonde hair, and then that's when the beehive is going to go crazy. And that's when she's going to file for divorce. So I see it happening. She might be like a new artist. I saw it happening around Super Bowl, so it might be Super Bowl next year. But he's going to be cozy up to her. There's going to be pictures that come out. Now it is intuitive based, not fact based. I'm accurate. But I see them sitting or standing next to each other, taking pictures. Kind of like, what happened? When like 3-4 years ago, or it was just before COVID, something like that, where Beyonce was sat in the middle and Jay-Z was on one side and there was a woman on the other side. And Beyonce was doing like her, fake doll kind of smile. And Jay-Z was talking to this other woman beside Beyonce, and the beehive went crazy. I see something similar, but this time Beyonce is not there, and the woman is younger and prettier. The beehive is going to go nuts. It's going to cause a trend, because this is what's happening lately. Ever since COVID, people have been awakened to the possibility of what Hollywood actually is. And because of that, now, if you see something like that, people will pull up things from many years ago and make it into like a montage or, like a catalog and stuff like that. So I strongly see that he will try to deny, try to say this, try to say that. They're already separated. I can see that. Intuitively, I see they're already separated. But this will be like the nail in the coffin. And Solange is not going to be happy, as we know she is. I appreciate Solange. I think she's a true artist. I do. And same thing. I know people that have worked for her too have great things to say about Solange. So interesting how somebody can come from the same family and be so different. So let's see what the future holds for the situation with Jaguar Wright and the Knowles family, Knowles Carter. Okay, man. So she's going to continue Jaguar to kind of press his buttons because she knows him. She used to work with him. When you had a colleague for a while and it irritates them, especially when they're perfectionist, like Jay-Z is, I believe to be. He's definitely a perfectionist, definitely the type that like if his image, both of them are really, if the image is tainted a little bit, they get really worked up about it. So Six of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Devil. So Jaguar is going to tell his stories. Stories are going to get very intense, and I've heard some of these stories myself from people who've seen them firsthand. So people thought Jaguar was crazy. I believed her from the beginning. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you all. I strongly believe a lot of what she's saying. That's just my personal belief. So with the Sun, the Star, and Strength card, interesting. They're going to use, you see how this is a perfume bottle? They're going to hide behind releasing things. They're going to try to bombard the media to take away attention, but it's not going to work because everybody already has their eye on it. Everybody's already, and they believe her. the strike card, the majority of people are going to believe her, and more is going to come out. She's going to start. I see her starting her own podcast and interviewing other people. MIA. You know, when I was listening to Rita Ora when I was coming home from work the other day, I walked home from work and I put on my music. I live 10 minutes from work, and I was listening to "Oh, oh, I will never let you down." I don't know if you guys remember that song from like 2012, Rita Ora, and how I strongly believe Rita Ora is Becky, one of the Beckys, one of the main Beckys, but how she got out of her contract. So I see her starting to interview people that have been. She's really going to push him to the point. Let's see what his response is going to be. I'm very fascinated about how she's dealing with this and how she's got guts. She's got a lot of guts. And she's a sun in Taurus, which is very interesting because some of the sun in Taurus tend to lack bravery. I wonder what her Mercury is in. It must be it must be Aries, her Mercury. But let's see. Or Leo, but it's a fire sign. So what's Jay-Z's response? Okay, so in the beginning he's gonna laugh it off. People are gonna ask him. He's going to start appearing again, and then people are gonna see him on a red carpet and being asked. This might not be shown because sometimes they confiscate people's what people have to say, stuff like that. If you don't know anything about journalism, sometimes they confiscate what you have to say, or they say the agent reaches out to the other person, the person who did the interview, and says, "Hey, you can't use that, but we'll give you something else." That kind of thing. There's lots of bartering, trade and bartering. Oh, something about anyways, I'll get to it later. Bartering and trading in media. So I see him being asked, "What's your response to Jaguar Wright? All these claims." He's going to do that laugh he does. As a huge Batman fan, I'm a huge Batman fan. I strongly see. Somebody said, actually, Jaguar Wright said this the other day when I was watching her. She said that Jay-Z is the Joker, and he is. I totally see that. Like with the clown laugh and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys see it. Please let me know in the comment section. But he puts off this image, which can be the shadow side of Sagittarius, which Jay-Z is a sun in Sagittarius. He puts on this like clown, ha 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 ha. He has like this particular laugh, which a lot of sun in Sagittarius have a particular laugh. He's like, I don't pay attention, ha 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 ha. I don't pay attention to nasty or nuttiness, something like that. But it is really affecting him. It's having a huge impact on him. But he's gonna be like, it's fine. He has that laugh. I don't know how to do his laugh, but he has that particular laugh. So with Nine of Wands, Seven of Cups, Nine of Cups, so he's going to be like, I'm working on doing things. He's going to be like, I'm focused on the Black community. And this is something, I don't like to talk about race, because I feel like it's overplayed sometimes. I've mentioned how I think Hollywood is extremely racist and often portrays Black people in a certain way that I don't agree with. I think it's actually awful. So does hip hop, which we kind of do to ourselves. But I will say that he's going to use race as he's going to say, yeah, of course, they want not say it outwardly, but basically he's very passive aggressive, and he's going to say, I'm supporting the Black community. What's everybody else doing? They're just criticizing us, that type of thing. He's going to be like, well, I'm raising 200 million. Basically what he said about Colin Kaepernick. When Colin Kaepernick was on his knee and he went back I forgot the foundation that runs the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst at football. But anyways, he went to speak to the CFO, is it the CFO of the Super Bowl of the National, oh my gosh, Football Association, the NFA, right? I think it's the NFA. Anyways, so somebody asked him, what do you think about Colin kneeling? And he was like, ha ha ha, that same laugh. I think we're beyond kneeling, that passive aggressive tone, So he's going to be say like that, like, ha 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 ha. Well, I donate and I do so much for the black community. What does Jaguar do? Or what are these other people criticizing me do? And he's going to make it a race thing. He's going and his way, and this is why I'm not crazy about Jay-Z and Beyonce. They use race because racism does exist across all borders, across all boards. What do you say? But what I found is that people like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Diddy, they use race as a way to get away from being held accountable. And I don't agree with that. So with Ace of Wands and Knight of Swords, he's going to keep an eye. It does bother him that people are talking about him like this. It does. So he's going to get like a media company to put out influencers that support him and say that he's a great man, have stories about him donating, doing this for that person, put that forward so that it kind of gets pushed to the side, all this story. But it won't, because the story is never going to die. The story is never going to die. It's just karma. And I've been saying this for years. When I started making these videos, one of my first videos was about Ellen. And I spoke about how I had heard about Ellen for a long time ago because I met somebody who worked on set with her. And she said she was one of the worst bosses she had. And I remember saying in that video, it's time for celebrities to make peace with God. You've heard somebody, you've done something, apologize about it. It's going to come back to haunt you, And I don't condone this crucifying people because that I don't accept. I don't think that's acceptable. But when it comes to evil and burying people's careers, putting gags on people, that kind of thing, that is going to come to light. Especially when you've done it to as many people as Jay-Z has. So, that's what I have for you guys. I would love to have to say, please be respectful. I love you all. Please subscribe. Please like. Take care.